I mean, so I don't know how much spark that, you know, a mag puts out, but.
We had a fire, it just don't do it very good.
Yeah.
We had problems trying to light it.
Yeah.
On this?
Yeah.
So that's basically what you got here then.
Yeah. Yep.
So is it the same size shaft and gear and all
Yep,
that stuff?
everything.
It just
Yep, it
slips
just-
in?
It's in the same hole.
Yeah, it just slips right in the same,
Really?
same drive gear and everything on it.
And then what about the plugs? You have to like really open up the gap or
No,
something?
they're all the same. I mean, for blower plugs, they're a little bit, but they're just regular, a little bit cooler than running the gas because it lights off the compression. Basically, the alcohol.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, so it's like a diesel.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It takes the compression. If the alcohol, if you put it in a pan, you can't hardly get the light
Right.
with a match. It won't. There's no flash point on it.
It's almost like our nitro RCs we had.
Yeah.
It's a glow plug.
Oh,
Doesn't even
okay.
know it's spark plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you run 15%, you know, up to 30% nitro in it. Then
Yeah. The nitro lights it.
it would,
The compression
on
lights it.
compression, it would make the
Yep.
coil glow, and that's what would spark it.
But I don't know, we started this, yeah, that thing won't be no problem to do. We started this thing in what, like December, January, something like that,
From scratch?
from scratch. And we made the first hook in June pretty easy.
Oh, so you've already run it?
Oh yeah, I've run this for 2 years.
2 years, oh, okay.
So
So you made the whole thing, the cage and the chassis?
no, we bought we made the chassis, we bought the cage, and the body came with it from
wow.
that came from Sprox out in Missouri. Andrew and his dad they bought a truck, pulled the body or the chassis out of it, and put their body on it. And then this was sitting in the weeds. They just wanted to get rid of it.
Really?
They had it for sale for like, I don't know, 9 months probably. They finally looked at the price, but yeah, we can use that. And we went and bought the chassis.
It looks like a nice chassis.
So, or the body. We built the chassis and I bought the rear end from a guy down in Missouri. And then he built the rails and mounted everything. And
What body do you run on it?
it's got a Ford. It's like a early. What year is your truck?
Went to 99.
So it's like a late '90s F-150
Okay.
body
What
style.
color?
It was blue. It's gonna be Plum Crazy purple.
Well, all right. What are you gonna call it?
Plum Crazy.
Plum
That's
Crazy.
it. That's what our tractors were. My tractor was.
So you've been doing this a while then?
Oh yeah, since 2004 probably.
Okay.
Yeah, as we built that first one. So.
As a mod tractor?
Yeah. It started out Chrysler 440s. They were twin engines. Then we figured out that buying two everything sucks. So we would switch over to supercharger. And I don't know. We probably what did we build? Six miles.
I think, yeah.
I mean, so and then the class got dropped, and we weren't competitive with the pickup trucks and the mods. So they said to go to the 2-wheel drive truck. So we did that, and
You like that?
Yeah. I had an old F20 rear end with the two 440s in it. Then we went to bought that rear end from Denny By. Built that yellow tractor.
The cheater rear end?
No, it wasn't the cheater. It might have been the rear end, but it didn't have the cheater hitch on it. We weren't that lucky. So that was the yellow tractor, and we broke the hitch off on that. And I bent the frame on that. So then we built. We went to a tube chassis that he built, a purple one. That was our nice one. We put a lot of time in that. Then he built another an F30 one just to have. We needed tractors to fill the class, so we built that one. And then we had rear end parts sitting in here. So one day in February, we decided to build another tractor. And we said, if we build the chassis, somebody can put a motor in it, they can just pull it.
Yeah.
So that was the one he put the Cummins in. He put it and pulled that. So
Get rid of some parts and
Yep.
make a little
And-
money maybe
yep.
on the same time. Huh?
put it in the trailer. And we got room in the
See
trailer
ya.
for two. You might as well be taking two. So
Yeah, right.
we were down to, we have 4 or 5 tractors in the class, and they pay 8, 9 spots. It's like, well, heck, we got a spot. You might as well build a tractor
Yeah.
and take some money. So
Like the banners used to,
Yeah,
right? You run
yep.
up two, you got two, run them.
load them up.
Yep.
So, but
Did you ever have to pull off against yourself?
no, they were very much just float.
No,
I mean, we
all the way.
were every floating this.
Okay.
So, yep.
That'd be an okay problem to have though
Mm-hmm.
too, right?
My old tractor was kind of, when I built a single engine blower, I went with carburetors and race gas, just,
Uh-huh.
well, throughout the course of the years, I beat everybody once, but not everybody at the same time. One night we were way up by Denmark, Wisconsin, and Justin won, and I came in second back. And I'm like, really? You couldn't let the old man win?
Oh, man. Yeah, but then it's kind of cool to have your son.
Yeah.
You got it.
But yeah, that was, I said, I beat everybody once, but not all at the same time.
So what are you guys doing on this today?
I was taking the fuel pump off, winterizing it. Take the fuel pump off, put the drain the alcohol out of it, and tuck it back in the corner till the
body's done.
Until the body's done, or we're gonna pull the motor out, freshen it up this winter, but
just starting to tear it apart, huh?
Yeah, you know, today was the first day we haven't been farming or working, or it's raining, so you get it cleaned out. And
there's never a day off, is there?
not really. not after Labor Day around here. So we figure once our last pull is Labor Day, and after that it's fall time until it freezes.
Yep.
So.
Oh man. How long did it take you to get used to driving with your feet, steering it?
Honestly, we don't. If you're on the brakes, you might as well just stop.
Forget.
It's not. Them brakes are basically for backing out of the trailer and not running into slip. you don't. I mean, guys that say, "Oh yeah, I was on the brakes," like they ain't doing no good. You might. It's cost you your footage, and it
using like 30 feet every time you hit them, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Maybe on like a mini rod where you actually get enough horsepower and speed to change it and keep up, but not.
Did you ever drive a mini rod?
Nope.
That's crazy.
Yeah, those guys are crazy.
Yeah. They got a screw loose.
Yep.
And I've seen a lot more of them go over on their lid now too. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening, but I don't know if it's just horsepower or.
I think it's the horsepower, and they're getting better tires.
Yeah.
They're
Too much traction.
Yep. They're hooking in better, and they don't have enough front end weight for what they're biting. I mean, they run a low hitch on those things. They put their hitch down because they can't use the full hitch because they get too much traction and they get wild
and then that lighter sled too.
Yeah.
So they're.
Yep. So.
And that, yeah, like you said, you're not on the brakes that much, but man, it seems like a small caliper if you got to.
Yeah, it's not really. The calipers aren't designed for any good for going on the track, really. I mean,
is there one on the bottom or the sides too?
Just the one.
One on each wheel.
Top, yep.
The rule said you gotta have brakes. Doesn't say how good they are.
How good they gotta be. Yeah. They're just for
Take one pad out.
They're just for not rolling into stuff.
Yeah.
You guys built this chassis?
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Everything but the rear end.
Wow.
So.
I'm a self-taught welder.
It's awesome.
And they get all pissed off at me because I measure and square and level.
Yeah.
It's just a frame, just weld it, you know.
No, but look at this. I mean, this is. That ain't coming apart.
No.
Is that quarter wall too?
Yeah.
Well, it's heavy.
Well, because I told them, I said, you either build the weight into it or add the weight. And I like to overbuild things.
Yep.
I prefer to have the strength in the frame.
Yep.
And it, if you get into trouble when you're trying to, like the mini rods where they weigh 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, we got tons of weight on here anyway. So I went quarter wall because it's strong.
That's what it looks like because I use a bunch of that. And just the way it's round and everything,
Yeah,
it's like quarter wall.
And then I use 2 inch for the main frame, 1.5 inches for the gussets, just because I'm lazy and it's way easier. You don't have to weld.
You don't have to fill.
You don't have to weld in the radius.
That makes sense.
And honestly,
Well, it gives you a better place to weld to.
there's
too.
still good strength in 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
So and it gives it the contrast of it's like well, we don't have. You can see our shop. I've got a cutoff saw and a flapper wheel and a drill press.
That's all I've got.
Yeah, you have to get creative.
Yeah.
You get creative. You mark. You notch the angle. You angle it. Take a flapper wheel and knock the sharp edges off.
A chop saw, a welder, and a grinder.
That's all.
You can make anything you want.
I said I always wanted to get a mill and a lathe, but I'd just be dangerous. So
So you don't have a tubing bender then, huh?
No. So everything has to be either mitered.
Yeah.
And we've got a, I used to build, I would buy the roll cages and kits. They come, but then this is where's my tubing cutter? Is it in the other toolbox?
Yeah.
It was like $150. Whoa, Cabby,
Touches now.
but it's amazing what you can do with a little patience, and you just have to figure it out.
Oh, we like using a grinder on a round tube?
This little stupid thing, $150, and you can notch it.
Oh, for a notcher? Yeah.
Yeah, and
It'll two frames with that.
Right.
I'll probably never use it again, but I can't throw it away.
No.
When I'm dead, they can throw it away.
You're gonna want it for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you throw it away, you want it next week. But that's why I decided this time to go a square tube. For the main frame instead of round.
Yeah.
It's so well. And yeah, the round is probably a little stronger, but when it's
You got quarter
back
wall.
braced, it's quarter walls.
You got plenty.
It's way plenty heavy.
Yeah.
We're not making 3,000 horsepower either, so
Are you running the 6200 with this?
65.
65?
65 open, yeah. The 30-inch drawbar really is the equalizer.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they did away with our tractor class, and the only rule in the rule book is for a two-wheel drive truck, you can have a 30-inch drawbar. I said, we left the rules meeting, I said, okay, start looking for parts, because
That'll be,
that will be the
make it the
equalizer.
same for everybody.
Yeah, we left that roll meeting, and I think we had the rear end about 3 weeks later. It was before harvest, so we picked that rear end up.
Yeah. But we scavenged some of the drive line and the transmission and all that from the tractor.
Talk to me about these transmissions. That's one thing I don't know, or like how they work.
That transmission is probably, 30 years old?
Yeah. When I ordered parts, I called and ordered parts for it, and from SCS, and Craig's like,
Oh, it's an SES?
It's an SCS.
Okay.
And Craig's like, I don't even know what that is. You got so many pictures of it. I was trying to tell him what I needed. He goes, I don't even know what the heck that is. You gotta send me some pictures because it was so old.
Which way it goes, upside down?
Yep. So it's basically just a gearbox with this is the reverser part of it.
Okay.
And then there's two sets of gears. There's a headset in here with a high and a low, a set of gears. And then in this case, you take this, split it here, and you can change the gears. There's two gears in here and a shaft. You change those, and that changes your ratio all the way across.
Do you do that? Like you can't do that quick, right?
Right. I mean, you
can
pick
shift from high to low.
You can shift from high to low, but I mean, like before you go pulling, you decide, okay, I'm gonna run higher, or low.
Well, it's kind of one of them deals where, to change the gears is kind of how much horsepower do you have.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want your final ratio to be? Well, we're a little short on horsepower, so our ratios are less.
It's almost like a transfer case.
Basically,
Some of the four-wheel drive transfer cases where they can slide gears in and out if you switch them.
It's just two shafts. I mean, when you split, you will take these bolts all the way off. This back piece comes off, and there's just a shaft here and a shaft here with two gears, and you change it. And then there's if you really want to get technical, there's gears in here you can change to get a different gear ratio. But
You want to get real precise.
right, but I mean, you can get pretty close.
really close it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with the 2-speed, you can choose high or low, and I mean, it's like.
But that's basically, you can do that on pull day, when in the lineup.
If you want.
What's the track look like today? How's everybody doing? If they have the sled set heavy and it's like, we don't have a whole lot of horsepower, you better go low. So you don't lug the motor.
How long would it take if you wanted to change those in there? Could you do it?
Oh, you could half hour.
Not bad though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only what, 6, 8 bolts?
The longest part is getting that drive shaft out of it.
First,
Yeah.
obviously.
To get to break down.
Once you get the drive shaft out, it's the 6 bolts, and you pull it down, and there's 2 gears. You slide in there, bolt it back up, and an O-ring in there.
There's an O-ring. If the O-ring's sealed, that goes. When you take an O-ring off and it expands, you almost need a new O-ring.
Oh man, every
put back
time.
in there.
But you just high low here, and then this is forward reverse.
That's all it is.
Yep, that's it. So, and then that rod just goes back to the switches, so the lights come on right. You get your forward reverse light.
Oh yeah, okay.
So,
That's cool.
and neutral, and there you go.
And then the clutch is centrifugal.
Yeah,
Right?
yep.
So I don't think a lot of people know like how that works either.
It's
So
just,
like a go-kart clutch basically?
Basically, yep. There's a bunch of fingers and springs in there, and weight. There's fingers with weights on it, and the faster it goes, the weight pulls the spring out and pulls it together.
Centrifugal
That's
clutch.
Yep.
And then you can set that however you want.
Yeah, if you
too, right?
change those weights, it changes the RPMs when it engages.
Have you ever had it where it binds?
Nope.
Like, or does it all depend on idle of the
It
engine?
all depends on the idle, yeah.
So if you get stuck at a high idle, you can't forward or
Yeah,
reverse
it won't come out.
That'd
come
be the
out
only
either, but-
thing.
Motor down.
Yeah, shut it down, then you could do it.
Yeah.
Well, then about all you can do is get into neutral. A lot of times when the motor's hot at the end of the run, it will change that. Sometimes the idle gets higher.
Okay.
So it's like, well, shut it down, pull it off. You know.
I had that last year. Was that on the truck or was that on the tractor that the gasket was out?
Oh, the intake.
I think it was on the tractor.
Oh, so you're sucking air.
Yeah, this gasket, there's a gasket
Right.
here, it sucked it in, so it was getting extra air.
Yep.
So it wouldn't
There
idle
goes your-
down. So I could get it in gear at the beginning of the pull, but when you got it at the end of the pull, it wouldn't idle down enough to get it out of gear. You'd shut it off, pull or the sled pull up, and then just pull it off the track.
Well, if it's at a high idle like that and you shut it off, put it in forward, and you start it back up, will it take off?
It would, yeah, because it's
Like a manual.
Yeah,
It's stuck.
but it won't start unless it's in neutral. You can't, it won't
Oh.
start in gear.
Safety switches.
Yeah.
Is that rules
Yeah,
doing that?
Yep.
So once you shut it down, that's it.
Yeah.
They have to pull you
Yep.
off. Okay.
I mean, you can put it in neutral and you can start it back up and then maybe grind it into gear or something, but it's like at that point, just hook
You're
it
hurting.
and drag it off the sled.
There's always a pull.
why hurt it? You're done, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let them drag it off.
So, but yeah, it took 2 pulls, I think, before we kind of figured out what the heck was going on. He looked in there and he's like, oh yeah, there's the gasket, you can see the gasket sucked in. So, because we were messing with the butterflies, trying to change the opening, there's feeler gauges here, you change these screws.
Yeah, for
and
the
that,
idle.
and we were changing it, and it wasn't changing the idle at all or doing anything,
Oh,
well,
so
because it was,
got
basically it was running
vacuum
like
leak
that,
somewhere.
yeah. I mean, it's not a high dollar motor or nothing, it's just some junk we threw together.
What is the motor?
It's a Chrysler, it's a 440 block, so it's 500 cubic inches. It's got some head porting done on it, I mean, but it's reliable. Shit, we ran it for probably 10 years and all we do is change oil on it.
Really?
I mean overhaul, put bearings in it every couple of years or
Yeah,
whatever, but I mean,
that's
it's-
it?
Yep.
Rods and mains.
Rods and mains, we did rings one time on it. I had the heads rebuilt a couple of years ago because the seals, valve seals were bad. It was leaking a bunch of air through it, but
Did you ever have it sneeze through the,
nope,
no?
it's pretty consistent. But we also don't have it set on kill, so that helps a lot too. We used to pull with a guy from up by Woodstock. He had a big Chevy, and he had her set on kill, and they did go home and check valves and check
All the time?
Yeah.
Like a top fuel guy?
Yep. We just change oil, dump fuel in it, and go again next week. So,
Then you have a fire extinguisher system on this with
Nope.
jets and all that?
nope.
You don't
just-
have to?
Just the can right there. Where you go.
I'm surprised they don't make you
Nope.
have a spray system. So these pedals are close enough that if you had to,
You just hit them both.
hit them both
Yep.
with 1 foot. You ever get like going on a track? You gotta be so much vibration. You
I've-
slip
I've-
off of one and hit the wrong
I don't
one.
even pay attention. Honestly, when I'm going down the track, my feet are on the floorboards. They're not even on the pedals.
Forget it, right?
Yeah. It's either gonna go out of bounds or it's gonna go down the end of the track. I ain't worried. I mean, it's either gonna.
You're not hitting
if
the
it's-
brakes.
Yeah, if it's going out, I could stand on those pedals and it wouldn't be enough to bring this thing back around.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did.
So would you rather go out of bounds and or get the, shut it down and get the footage?
At that point, it's just it doesn't matter. I mean,
Are you a DQ on
Yeah, we're pulling for $200. It doesn't matter. I mean, the money is like
Two.
It's $200 or $300, whatever. It's like
let it rip?
whatever puts on a better show. Yeah.
Usually by the time you realize you're not gonna come or save it, by the time you pull the throttle back, you're out of
Right.
You're at, yeah. How thick is this?
That is what's the rule on a drive shaft tube?
Is it 5/16?
I think 5/16 is the
312 or something?
or is it 3/8?
3/8 maybe?
You can see it over here.
You don't have much of a U-joint in there then.
There's no U joint. It's
Oh, it's straight off of that going
it's
into.
spline couplers all the way
okay.
through.
So you have no U-joints in the whole thing?
No, nope.
Just a solid shaft.
It's solid shaft all the way through.
It's one shaft all the way
No,
back?
there's a 2 carrier bearings. So this is a carrier bearing. So
Okay.
there's a shaft here with 2. I don't know if I still have to. We still got the misalignment cover here. So like this is This is on the old tractor.
Oh, wow, okay.
This goes in the spot of the U-joint on the back of the tractor. You know, that goes on the rear end. Then this will go in there, and then you'll have a shaft that slides in here.
Okay.
And then on the, like, when it comes up here, there'll be one of these, only it won't have gears on it, it'll just be smooth. And it'll have a, you know, this shaft cut all the way through, and then it'll go
Oh, so
there.
it'll slide through all the
Yeah.
way.
And then there's a bolt that goes through the center of it to keep it from sliding between the shaft and so there's like a little sub shaft here that's this long.
Okay.
And then that one coupler shaft, and so.
Well, you're not breaking that stuff at all,
No.
for sure. No way.
It's a modern machine.
This is all.
Oh, that is?
This is all Brad stuff.
Really?
So, yep.
Do you have like backups of those just in case something
Nope,
happens?
I don't
Or
have any of them.
never needed a.
Nope.
Wow.
I mean, it's all fairly common connectors and stuff. I mean, if you broke something, you'd have.
Somebody's got
Yeah.
one in their trailer or whatever.
The only thing that might, like if you did an axle shaft, they're all, you know.
They're different lengths.
different lengths, everybody's, you know.
You can do a foot and a half.
Right.
Well, you can't have a drive shaft longer than 4 feet. So you have to break them up into, you know, that's why there's 2 carrier bearings.
That's the rule.
Yep. Safety rule. So the drive shaft doesn't whip.
So yeah, on the tractor is 14 foot long, so you can get by with 1 carrier bearing. This one is 15 foot long, but then it makes your drive shaft too long, so you have to put a carrier bearing in it. That's why a lot of guys will take their transmission and use the transmission as one of the carrier bearings.
Mid-mounted.
The mid-mounted transmission. Then when you want to adjust the clutch, you don't have to dick around pulling the transmission out. You just pull that shaft out. You can pull the bell housing off and go and clean the clutch and adjusting it, and it's
There's a lot of
faster.
options.
Yeah.
That's
So-
cool.
If we built another one, it would be, we'd remote mount that transmission, because it would make life a lot easier. You could just leave the transmission hooked up all the time, you pull the motor out, and you just pull the shaft out, and away you go.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only got the one shaft to mess
Yep.
with.
Or if you want to, because you can adjust you go to adjust the clutch, you can do it, we did it through here one time. You take all this off, and there's a feeler gauge, and you adjust the nuts and stuff on there. I said, never again. We'll never do that again. You pull the bell housing off every time.
Get in
it's
there.
So, yeah. It's so much easier.
But then you're pulling something back here.
Yeah,
to
you
slide
gotta,
it back,
you gotta start from
pull this.
here. You gotta take that drive shaft out, drop the transmission out, pull the bell housing out. I mean, so you can do it. It's not real fun, but
But you really only got once it's set, it's set.
right.
Right.
Once a year. I mean, you adjust you take the wear out, or adjust the wear out of it, and tighten it up a little bit.
Does it
And-
wear quite a bit every run?
No, not if you don't slip it. I mean, it's like your truck or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If you're not slipping it, I mean, I can adjust it once a year.
Okay.
I mean, and you can tell when it's getting out of adjustment, because you got to rev it up higher before it starts
Get it
moving.
to go.
Because it's got to take up more slack.
Yeah,
before
and only
the-
you would know that since you're
Right,
driving
yeah,
it. Somebody
you-
else hops in it, they're not gonna know.
Right. Or you can hear, you're like, man, he's got to really rev it up before it starts moving. His clutch is way out of adjustment. So, but we've adjusted it in the middle of the year before. It really didn't need it. You can get by if you're not lugging it down and slipping it. You can get by once a year.
That's not too bad then.
So it's not terrible for us. We don't.
Then you still gotta go through the motor every year.
Yep.
So it's like anything else. Rather go through it than have it break down, right?
Right. Yep. You only get one shot at it.
Freshen
so-
that. Yeah, it's true. Hey, you have to send me some pictures with the body on it.
Yeah.
We can add this in.
That's the purple one. That one was our.
Oh wow. Sweet.
See that way. There we go.
Yeah, I got both of them in here.
That was last year before that tractor actually went out to Iowa. The guy bought it.
What do you
So-
like better, the trucks or the tractors?
I put like 12 feet on the whole class down there in that.
Well, you had the front end loader
Yep.
too, so you got
Yeah.
it all the way down.
And that was pretty cool. The track was hard, and there was some big horsepower down there, and I was able to beat them all. So that was.
You think it was having a lower tires or what?
It was just the track was hard enough that the bigger horsepower guys couldn't get into the track.
Ah.
They're
spinning on top
Yeah,
of
we
it.
were pulling light super stocks, and there were some big mod 4-wheel drive trucks, and they just couldn't bite into the track, and it had the right gear speed, right weight, right. It just worked out. That was the only time. That was the only time down there I've won, and it was a pretty good one. So that was a pretty fun day. So
Do you have a temperature gauge on this so you can tell
No.
how hot it's getting?
no.
How long can you run it like before it's in danger?
When we get done, if I go through a whole pull, you can still hold your hand. You can tap the head. It's
Yeah.
you can't hold your hand on it, but I mean you can. So
So you can make 3 runs within a day.
oh yeah,
No problem.
Yeah, you can almost go back to
You-
back.
Dave did it once. He went back to back, but he was pulling for me. I was at my brother's wedding, so we had a guy run it, and that was a time they didn't have the sled set right. He drug it out.
Oh,
and he
gotta go
turned
again.
around, came
Yeah.
back, and drug it again. I'm like, well, yeah. He never even put fuel in the tank. I'm like, well, apparently you can make 2 runs in a tank.
I said, you never put fuel in it? And you had enough fuel to make it?
And I said, yeah,
It had to be sucking the fuel right down the fuel.
right down the line.
Dry,
Yeah.
literally.
But yeah, I mean, you can run 2 runs. The methanol runs, it keeps it so much cooler. It's so,
Well,
Yeah.
on a cool night, if you were to pull tonight,
oh yeah,
when
definitely.
you get done,
There'll be ice.
Yeah.
There'll be ice on top.
Blower or frost up
Yep.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lower, yeah.
We talked to the guys that built, motors, or they had a guy that did the machine work for us, and then we built everything. We put rings in it, put bearings in it, do all the engine work. We called and got a setup kind of for the fuel injection. We never changed it. It's worked for 10 years. We're like, it doesn't work. We're afraid if we start messing with it,
Yeah, you don't even-
we're gonna screw something up. It's like, we got the timing set, we got the fuel set, you pull it, it's just.
So you've never rich or lean the
No.
lines?
Nope.
Really?
Never done
Well,
anything.
well,
I guess we
changed pills in the beginning.
A couple,
We started out fat.
just a couple times, but never.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuel up.
I guess we did change a couple, but we don't change it, we're
Well,
not.
once you got it,
We don't have a hydrometer, barometric pressure adjusted thing. It's
Where is the pills on these things? Is it that
it's in
blocking?
the-
Oh, it's
in
under?
the black box, yep. Inside the, let's see, right here in the front. That's where the,
Is it one for every? It's not one for every cylinder. It's like
No.
one for the whole. I thought it was like back here, and you could adjust each cylinder
you
if
can
you wanted.
change it, you can change these, you change the nozzles, open up these
Oh, okay.
lines here.
Injector size.
Yeah,
then,
you
basically?
can make them bigger or smaller.
Okay.
And I've been doing some more research. There's so much stuff that I didn't even know how this thing all worked. It's like I can't believe it's worked for as long as it had. I mean, it runs pretty good for not knowing as much as we don't know about it.
I mean, I've seen even in the drag race world, they're running individual cylinder
Yeah,
temperature
yep.
sensors, so
Yep.
you can tell if it's fat or lean.
Yep,
Or,
and
then
adjust each. You run a different nozzle on
Yep.
each injection line and the port nozzles and this and that. It starts and runs, it fires up and you hit the key and go to the
Fire up.
track. I mean, we're just out there to have fun. Wally's actually got a data logger kit. He said that's the last thing he's got from his truck that he sold and everything. He goes, I got a data logger kit. He goes, you can have it if you buy the stuff to change it over from a diesel to a gas. I said, because I want to do exhaust temperatures
Yeah,
and like pressure
on each
see
one.
where the pressure boost comes in, stuff
Yep.
like that. Get some numbers on it. He goes, if you
Make a
want
big-
it, it's sitting in the shop. Just come get it, and we'll go. You can have it and put it on there. Yeah, Wally, he can give you the shirt off your back if you needed it.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah.
So, I started working for him in high school. I didn't even know.
Oh, really?
His daughter and my sister are the same age in school or whatever.
Okay.
So his wife Laura was talking to my mom one day. They needed some help doing something or whatever. And she's like, Justin, go do it. So I started working for him. That was before. I mean, I knew he truck pulled or whatever. I didn't know back then. I know he went to all over the country. It was like a big deal. I'm
Really
like,
big deal.
It's just Wally. We were building that Ford Ranger body. Like yeah, he's a truck puller. Cool. I worked for him in the summer. He's like, you want to go pull him? I'm like, yes. But the more I was around it, I'm like, yeah, he was kind of big. He'd have pictures
He's a
in the
big
office
deal.
where I look. I'm like, yeah, you were kind of a big deal. He goes,
Centerfold magazines.
I don't know. I wasn't a big deal.
No, he was.
But the more I found him, like I said, you're like a professional. Well, he goes, just out playing. But
Yeah, because he never did it for points.
yeah.
That's why he was saying that.
Yep. So
Yeah.
when I started work for him, he actually still had the steel. He didn't have the blue max body. It was the Lightning. The
Ford.
The Ford Lightning body. It was like it was painted up. It was white and it had like it looked like lightning bolts on it for his blue.
Oh,
max
the
body.
blue mat. Yeah,
The
that
last
one.
Yep.
Mhm.
That one was still back in the barn. I thought it was cool. He paid me to go work for him, and then I got to work on the component. You know, it was when he was building that Ford body. He's like, here, go do this. And I'm like, okay. I mean, and he was pretty particular. I remember we were putting a Driveline in or something, and I was putting washers on. He goes, no, turn the washers around. I don't want the indents.
Because you got a curved side and then the flat side.
They were stamped like, you know, whatever, 5/16 on the washer. He wanted all the 5/16 in, so you couldn't see them. So they were smooth.
Yeah.
I worked, well, in high school I worked for him probably 5 or 6 years, and then it was when Olivia was finally old enough, she went to school and Laura didn't have to watch her anymore, then she could help with harvest. Then he sent me up the road to the neighbor because he didn't need help anymore. But I worked for him in the fall, rain carting and doing whatever for a couple years after that. But yeah, you wouldn't know it by talking to him, but he's you know what he used to do.
Yep. I'm a big Dukes fan, so that's for sure.
That's the one that's the one we broke it. The hitch broke on it and buckled the frame.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it buckled the frame right between the motor when it came down. Flat spotted the tires, rims went to the wheelie bar hit. It was a bang.
Sweet. This is one of yours too?
Yep, that was a twin. That was his. That was a twin engine that he put the supercharger on and turned into a blower tractor, single engine.
Bunch of cool awards.
Shit, there's still trophies in a box up there. We haven't even dug them all out. Those were all the ones my wife kicked me out of the house for. She put them all in a box, told me to get them out of her house or take up too much room.
Well, at least you got them.
So yeah, so the trophies and this trophy. This trophy was the first. This was the first trophy we ever got, 2007. So we'd been to like 5 pulls, and they always had these trophies at the pulls. And we went to a different pull. It was an actual, you know, the firemen or whatever put a trophy or pull on. And I'm like, I got second place. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna finally get a trophy. No trophies. So so Gratz's from Harvard, they felt bad for me. They went and had that trophy made so I could have a trophy. I'm like, because I'm like, we pulled for pulled for a year or whatever. You know, I go, oh, finally I got up high enough. I get the first 3 places get a trophy. I finally get a trophy, and then, oh, we don't have trophies here. They showed up the next
puller.
They showed up the next fair and had a trophy for me made.
And you know they had a most improved.
Yeah, they had all kinds of.
That just means you suck really bad.
You don't suck quite as hard anymore. You sucked last year, you got a little bit better. Let's see if I can pull this one out. This is I think this is I got a points champion for ISP. Yep.
2018 first place. You gotta hang that one up somewhere.
Yeah, I really haven't got it. They're all, those are supposed to go on the back wall.
You got more and more.
But that was the first year, 2018 was the first year they did the open class.
And that's winning the class.
Yeah, yep.
All year.
So.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
you got a piece of wood out of it. How much
Yeah,
did you spend?
yeah, exactly. I didn't even realize I didn't even realize there was one in there. So.
Well, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, not a
Really
problem.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks for coming out.
Nice to meet you too. Where'd Dad go?
I don't know,
How's it
what's he
going?
doing?
All right.
Good luck.